back to life lessons with Mrs. O. I know. This next few videos is going to be about parenting. So just to let you know ahead of time. So today I'm going to be talking about parenting the school-age children. Our school-age children. I know with COVID-19 and all of that now, the kids are some of our kids are back in school. Some of them are still at home. So I'm just going to quickly run through a typical school-age kid behavior, and then we're going to talk about typical behavior, challenging behavior, some of the common challenges we have, and then we'll just take it up from there. Now, your typical school-age kid is not longer a little kid, as no longer a toddler, but yet they're not able to keep up with being big kids. So I want you to understand that your school-age child behavior is likely to reflect a transitional period of development. They are not babies anymore, and then because now they are school age, and now you hear, I'm not a small boy, I'm a big boy, I'm a big girl, you know. And I know when parents usually, when they go into the little baby, say, you know, you're a big boy, are you a baby? And they say no, and then, you know. So really, for them, they're no longer little kids, but they're also not the big kids. So you can see that sometimes they go back into being little kids, and sometimes they tell you that, oh, I'm a big boy and a girl. So that's what I mean, that it's a transitional period of development. But by and large, you find out that your school-age children are able to demonstrate prolonged concentration and will have greater patience in facing obstacles or challenges. Now, their attention span will be a little bit longer, and they are able to have the ability to focus on more than one activity at the same time. Now, they have better cognitive abilities, and they also are able to perform everyday tasks more easily and readily. So as a result of this, they have less frustration, they're able to control themselves, as they're able to better juggle their school life, their home life, and even their social life. Now, that being said, you find out that these children in this typical, in this school age, they also test boundaries. They test boundaries all the time. So you find out that one time they are whining, the next time they have a meltdown, another time they have a temper tantrum, and you know, and then sometimes they even talk back at you. You know, so it's important to find out how do you manage all of this. And you find that even the children, they're able to articulate their thoughts, they're able to express themselves, they're able to use words to express their needs, they're able to express how they feel. So all these are some of the behaviors you see. And then you also find that they fight a lot. Now also, I want you not to forget, they will forget things. They will repeatedly forget to do their homework. They will repeatedly forget their school bag. They may forget their note on the table and all of that. So even though they are no longer toddlers, they're also not matured enough. So as parents, we are supposed to come in to help them. I don't want us to forget that, because some of the times when we see that our children, and unfortunately now, our kids go to school even much earlier than 5 years old. 2-year-old child is already in school, and the parent and the parent is expecting the 2-year-old child to be able to read, count 1 to 200 and all of that. I'm not talking about the academics now, I'm talking about behavior. Now, I want you to understand that you have to just continuously set boundaries for your children. So I want to quickly go, what are some of the typical behavior of a school age child? They have longer attention span, they're able to control themselves better, they will test their boundaries, they will test boundaries and frustrate you. They ask a lot more questions, and also at the same time they want to have their independence. Now, Some of their challenging behaviors will be fighting, whining, tantrums. They can be defiant. Remember what I said, they will test boundaries. You know, my daughter, then, as soon as you tell my daughter, don't touch, she will stare you right in her face and bring her little finger out from wherever she kept it and will be looking at you to touch that thing. So it's part of growing. Now, I want to quickly say something here. Now, at this stage, you see the children as they are testing boundaries. I don't want us to say they are stubborn. They are being assertive. So it's just for us to take that behavior and tailor it the right way. We don't want to discipline our children and kill their soul or kill their spirit. That's not what we want to do. So I want to quickly put in there that even though they're going to be testing boundaries, you want to also be very careful as parents to see that you put the right measure of discipline in place so that you don't kill the spirit of your child in the process of disciplining your child. Now, defiant behavior is very common among school-age children. Your children, don't be surprised when your children will test your responses by refusing to do almost everything you ask. Defiance is just a phase. So you're going to still correct it. I'm not saying that because I'm saying it's a phase, you let it go. No. Because our children test boundaries, and every time they gain a boundary or they conquer a boundary, it is difficult for you to take it back. So your boundaries are in place, and those boundaries cannot be tested. You do not give boundaries to your children. I know I'm contradicting myself. You don't relinquish boundaries to your children. So if, for example, you have told your child, put that cup down, make sure that the cup is down on the table. Don't tell your child, put the cup down and walk away. No. When you give instructions to your children, make sure you stay there until that child follows that instruction that you give. They will test boundaries. Now, defiance is a phase that comes and goes a bit throughout childhood. You know? Now, you find that sometimes your school-age children are likely to tell lies. You know? It may be that, okay, who put that thing there? Not me. And everybody is saying it's not me, and you are wondering, if it's not me, who else? You know, so you want to correct those behaviors. Very, very important. Another thing that is also going to become a challenging behavior is sibling rivalry and fighting. Now, it is important, parents, that you don't love one child more than the other. If you do that and you show it, you are already setting the stage for sibling rivalry and fighting and jealousy and competition and envy. So it is important. Don't forget Jacob and Esau with the parents. The father loved one, the mom loved the other one, and you see the mess it created in the family of Isaac. So it's important that you do not do anything that will encourage sibling rivalry. It is important you do not do it. I beg you, in the name of God. As much as possible, you want to promote love between your children. It is important that you show and help and encourage your children to love one another. Now, dawdling can be another challenging behavior. When your child takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes to finish eating, you are in a hurry, and your child will decide that you are just going to be late to work because you have to drop your child in school. How do you handle it? There are different ways. One way is, for example, if he's eating and it's going to take him 20 minutes, you come and say, okay, you finish your food in 5 minutes. If the child does not finish in 5 minutes, that child goes to school without finishing food. You have to set those boundaries. And then it takes him another 20 minutes to put on his shoes. What do? Either you put on the shoes for him, or he goes into the car and continues to put on the shoes. Now, whining. Oh God. Whining. I hate whining. I can't stand whining. And it's not a thing, it's not a thing that parents should encourage in your school children, because they go to school and do the same. And I can tell you that teacher does not have the time to deal with a child that is whining. So what do you think is going to happen? The child will probably go to a naughty corner. That child might be ignored. So it's important that you encourage your children to not whine. I used to not, I just hated it. So I used to just tell my children, use your words. And some of the time they get disciplined for just whining. In no time they realize that whining is not the way to go. So you may have to use that strategy. So they must use their words. I just never liked it. Because if it's a behavior that we unconsciously reinforce. What is it? And what is it? Mommy, I want to eat biscuits. And you give biscuits. You have told your child that just continue to whine. So you also want to teach your children that whining is not the best way to go. I used to just say, use your words. Use your word and use your normal voice. So that's another challenge. Challenging the behavior of a typical school age child. Now, what can we do? What are some of the strategies you can use to help your child? Number one, praise good behavior. Provide genuine praise for your child's effort and boost their confidence. Use praise to encourage them to keep trying, to keep studying hard, to do the very best they can do. Now, what do I mean by praise? Let your praise be very specific. Now, we talked about whining. Now, you've told your child not to whine. So he comes the next day, instead of him whining, and say, Mom, can I have biscuit? You can say, oh, great job for using the right words. I like when you speak, you use your normal voice instead of whining. You understand? That's a way to praise good behavior and giving good feedback. Another way is place your child in timeout. Now, school age children, it's a good thing for them to go on timeout. So they know if you do this again, you're going to go on a timeout. And also have a place that is specific, that has been reserved for timeout. Now, you can also use another method. It's called grammar rule of discipline, whereby you use it says a subtle way you use your words to turn a consequence into a reward. So instead of you saying you cannot watch TV, you can say, oh, you can put on the TV as soon as you do your homework. That's another way. So also allow for natural consequences. If your child decides that you say put on your sweater and the child decides not to put on his sweater, for example, then and it's raining and it's going to be cold, it's not a big deal. When it goes out and it's cold, if it was very cold, I can tell you the next time you will not even have to tell him to put on his sweater. He will put on his sweater. And then also you can use a token system, whereby every time your child does something right, you have tokens. And at the end of the week, for example, you can tell your child, for example, if you collect 10 tokens at the end of the week, then you can have a pizza. So you can use the token system to get your children to behave appropriately. I know my time is up now, so I believe that these are just some of the strategies that you can use. It's not exhaustive, And if you have any question, please, you can put it on the comments section of of the channel. I would respond, I will respond or I will come back on another video to respond to your questions. So until next time, please share with your friends, subscribe, press the like button, and if you have any comment, please let me have it. Until I see you next time, stay blessed, and please remember, COVID-19 is still there. It's still there. Thank God that the COVID-19, the numbers are going down. But let us please, especially as our children are going to school, let us take the necessary precaution. Until I see you in my next video, stay blessed. Bye.